Patton Sports Videocast is brought to you by Snap Laces. Snap Laces' elite lacing system was designed for world-class athletes. They come in hundreds of color combinations so you can perform well and look great at the same time. Buy a set online today by clicking through the top image on mopattonsports.com. LT360 is a health and weight loss company based in Brentwood, led by Coach Scott Oatsvall and Brent High. They have helped more than 700 clients in the last year get healthy, lose weight, and feel better with an all-natural program and simple approach to exercise and nutrition. LT360 offers free health and wellness seminars each week. For more information, visit their website at lt360.com or call them at 615-312-8244. Taziki's Mediterranean Cafe, Nashville's answer to fast, friendly, healthy comfort food. With a menu featuring assorted grilled meats, fresh veggies, and a dash of inspiration, Taziki's casual dining is perfect for lunch, before a movie, or a dinner featuring laughter and great memories. Originality is our nationality. With 7 Middle Tennessee locations, one of them is near you. Check www.tazikiscafe.com to select your nearest location and next favorite dish. I want to welcome everyone into the Patton Sports Videocast as we head into week 3 of the Mid-State High School football season. I'm Maurice Patton along with Terrence Smithson, and as you can see over our shoulders, we're out here at Cane Ridge High School. Big matchup on Friday night. In fact, it's so big, my TV 30 is going to be checking in on it with their Friday Night Rivals series. You've got Cane Ridge taking on Hendersonville out here in the Region 6-5A opener for both those teams, and both of them coming in at 2-0, Terrence. Hendersonville has knocked off McGavock and Siegel back-to-back weeks. Cane Ridge opened with a big win against rival Antioch out here, and then we saw them on Thursday night in a 27-19 win over Mount Juliet. This should be a heck of a ball game.
I'm looking forward to it.
We got a chance to see DJ Thorpe, the quarterback, up close and personal, 6'3", 190. Love his arm, love his feet, and if you get a chance to either get out here Friday night or check it out again on TV, I think he's a guy to keep an eye on.
DJ Thorpe is definitely a guy you want to keep an eye on. In my opinion, he's a D1 prospect. He's got an arm where the ball just jumps out of his hand and it gets to the target quickly. I think everyone will be impressed if he plays the way he played last week.
Absolutely. He's got a Cornell offer, so he's getting it done in the classroom as well. Also looking at Samford down in Birmingham. So he's got some things going on, but he's not the only one on this Raven offense. They got a couple of running backs, Jordan Bell and Amari Barton. The two of them have combined for almost 300 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns in their first 2 games. So it's kind of a pick your poison with those two guys. Eddie Woods does a really good job rolling with the hot hand with those two.
He does. I really like the way they balance the offense. They don't ride either one exclusively. They balance it. Like you said, pick your poison.
And DJ's got 410 offensive yards already this year, 3 touchdowns. So they can throw it, they can run it, and they can stop you from doing both. And I think that's what Hendersonville has to be concerned with. Now, they've, again, gotten off to a 2-0 start behind their junior running back, Anthony Hughes, who's got 300-plus yards in a couple of games already. And we've talked about that wing T offense. They have typically one back and then a bunch of guys around them. So far, Anthony has been that lead back for them.
Yeah, Anthony's been the lead back, but like you said, in the wing T, there's multiple ball carriers, and that could be to their benefit against Cane Ridge. Deception.
Yeah, deception. Yeah, I mean, again, we were talking off air right before we got started. What you think you saw, you did not see sometimes against that offense.
You're right. There's a lot of good ball handling in the wing T, at least the teams that run it effectively. There's a lot of good ball handling, and you chasing one ball carrier and the other one is 20 yards down the field. So you really have to read your keys and play your assignments in order to be a good defensive unit against the wing T.
And Hendersonville runs it as well as anybody in the mid-state, probably traditionally. Bruce Hatfield has done a great job with it. It's been their bread and butter offense for as long as he's been there. I think the key for them is typically the wing T is a equalizer type offense when you don't necessarily have the athletes to match up, but they run it with athletes.
They do. They run it with athletes, and they run it with pretty good, big, strong linemen. And that's a plus when you can run it with those type personnel.
Brandon Dove, that lead offensive lineman for them, an Austin Peay commitment. Brett Coker, the junior quarterback for Hendersonville, I think he probably had to ice his arm after Friday night's win over Siegel. 7 of 15. I don't know if they've thrown 15 passes in 3 ball games at Hendersonville, but he was 7 for 15 for 85 yards against Siegel. And Siegel has had some trouble with the pass. They gave up a school record 420 yards to Ravenwood in their opener, and then I guess Hendersonville saw where they could maybe get some things done in the air, and so they came out and threw it around a little bit for them anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how much of that passing game carries over into this matchup.
Well, Cane Ridge doesn't have the same deficiencies in the pass defense as Siegel. These guys can cover. And I don't know how much they'll put it up, but they better be selective when they put it in there against these guys, because they've got playmakers all over the field. They
really do. Jordan Bell gets some time back there in the defensive secondary. We talked after the game Thursday night, didn't hear Noah Bayless's name at linebacker as much as I would have expected to, but when I did hear it, it was a big play.
Yeah. Didn't hear as much from the linebackers because the guys up front were taking care of business.
There you go. There you go. But this may be the best game in the Mid-State this Friday night, Hendersonville-Cane Ridge. Again, you can catch it on MyTV 30 or just make your way out here. Hopefully the weather will be a little bit more cooperative this weekend than it was last weekend. Another big matchup, Brentwood Academy coming off a tough loss at Louisville Trinity goes into Division II AA region play with a game at Pope John Paul II. The Knights coming off a big win over Coffee County, 54-30. Again, Brentwood Academy lost at Trinity 35-21. Interesting matchup to see how Brentwood Academy bounces back and what kind of confidence JP2 comes in here with after a pretty good handling of Coffee County.
Well, JP2 is riding high right now. I believe they beat Memphis Melrose first game, and then they've come up with Coffee County last week. And they'll definitely be high with Justin Gossinger leading the crew, former Vanderbilt player. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. Yeah. Should be a good game.
Should be a good ball game. Like you said, offensively, JP2 getting it done with Ben Brooks at quarterback, who's a Memphis baseball commitment. So like seeing those two sport guys out there getting it done. Running back Drew Bledsoe. Name sounds kind of familiar. Yeah, exactly. And Chris Bell is back there at safety. Fascinating story with Chris. Chris played there as a sophomore, spent last year at East Nashville. Didn't get to play, obviously, because he transferred. Now he's back at JP2, and he's on some recruiting radars. So he's kind of the leader of that defensive secondary for the Knights, and he'll get tested by that Brentwood Academy offense in that passing game with Jeremiah Oatsvall and with those receivers, Cameron Johnson and Daniel Taylor, and Gavin Schoenwald starting to show up in the passing game as well, kind of an X factor. He's probably going to be their quarterback next year, but right now he's kind of splitting out, playing some tight end, getting a little time at quarterback, showing some versatility.
Well, he'll get an opportunity to either be in a highlight or make his own highlights, because Jeremiah Oatsvall will put the ball in the air.
He will put it in the air. Threw for 180 up at Trinity last week, ran for another 90 with a touchdown on a big play. So he's a guy who's going to challenge you. It was fun watching him his sophomore year. I think Cody White went through a lot of no, great play moments with him, and he likes to swing it around a little bit and make some plays with his arms and with his feet. Kind of, at the time, drew some Johnny Manziel comparisons. I'm not sure if that's a comparison you want to make nowadays, but strictly from a football stylistic standpoint, he's a guy who doesn't mind taking some chances and typically comes out ahead more than he does behind on those.
Let's go with Brett Favre.
Okay, all right, that's probably better, yeah. All right, hey, we're just getting started on some big Week 3 matchups. Got some more for you when we come back. John Mayer Builders proudly sponsors the Patton Sports Videocast. With over 1,500 homes built in Middle Tennessee, John Mayer Builders knows the importance of families and communities. They have numerous business awards to their credit, proving that John Mayer Builders is built to win. Like them on Facebook. John Mayer Builders, our reputation is building. Southern Athletic Fields Incorporated originated in 1996 when Bill Marbett formed a company specializing in baseball and softball field materials. SAF has since grown and now has sales reps to cover over 12 states with products servicing many outdoor sports. Southern Athletic Fields takes great pride in working with their customers to achieve the best athletic field possible. Visit their website at www.southern-athleticfields.com or like them on Facebook. Dirt, you gotta love it.
Great teams have talent. They also have the necessary tools for success. BSN Sports delivers these tools whether your team needs uniforms, apparel, or athletic equipment to achieve greatness. Just like a winning teammate, BSN Sports is there for you. Their unmatched service ensures that you have best-in-class equipment for championship-level performance, plus uniforms and athletic apparel from the best brands in the industry to look your best when hoisting your trophy.
Express Employment Professionals, North Nashville in downtown, owned by respected business leaders Christy and Jason Patrick, is the premier employment agency in the community. Express is one of the community's largest employers, consistently working over 500 people at over 125 private businesses each week in Davidson County. Whether you are a company looking for the next great employee or a candidate looking for the next great job, Express is the employment resource for you. Call them at 615-313-3690 or visit their website at www.expresspros.com/in-Nashville-TN. Like them on Facebook at Express Employment Professionals, Nashville North and downtown.
Terrence going over to Region 3-6A. They open league play this weekend as well. Franklin goes to Overton. This was a tough loss for Franklin last year. They lost at home to Overton 41-20. Really like the way this Rebel team is playing right now. The only piece that's missing is closing out games.
You're right. They probably feel like they lost a game they should have won against Centennial, and they're going to be out to really take advantage early and often in this game against Overton and put them out of the game early and not let them back in it.
I think they've got to, when they get their foot on somebody's throat, they've got to be able to step on them. And even in the Riverdale game last week, they were up 24-7 and wound up winning at 27-20. So Donnie Webb and that coaching staff this week, I feel quite confident, are preaching finishing things.
Finishing. That's the big thing. You have to finish.
And they've got the running back Mitch Rossi, who's capable of doing that, 100-yard rusher in each of these first two games. They've got the ability to put folks away with the run game, with Rossi behind Caden Williams and Max Ray, and we keep talking about those guys, but we're just so impressed with them. And I have to throw Terrence a bone as a former lineman.
Yeah, tell you what, Max Ray was awesome last week. I watched that kid, and he was just pulverizing people. And he has that killer instinct that you love to see in a lineman. He's nasty.
Well, that's probably why Georgia likes him.
Yeah.
Georgia commitment as a junior, and he looks every bit the part for sure. But Overton's got some SEC speed as well with Theo Jackson, the quarterback, defensive back. They hung in there against Marshall County last Saturday night in a game that was pushed back by the weather. Wound up losing that ball game 33-19, but again, Theo did a pretty nice job down there keeping them in that one after a big win against Stewart's Creek in the opener. Also, Tavares Travis at running back, Tyrone Sanders, Derek Payne, who also plays some linebacker for him. So they've got some ball carriers, but they do it more out on the edge, I think, than Franklin does. Franklin's more of that power game, so might get a little ugly, might be a little close, but again, Franklin wanting to get off to a good start in Region 3-6A play after dropping this game at home to Overton last year.
You're right, Mo. They do. Franklin has identified their strengths as being between the tackles, and that's where they go. Mitch Rossi is a guy who's great between the tackles. I saw him last week. He just was shaking people off on his way to the goal line, and that's what you want from your big back. You get him behind those big linemen, and you go get it.
And 3-4 yards of the shot, and
this run actually was 17 yards against Riverdale, and he was just throwing people off all the way to. And he finally got to the goal line, and he didn't have anybody on him.
Just shook them all loose.
Shook them all off.
Another big game in Region 3-6A. Ravenwood goes to Mount Juliet. Again, we saw Mount Juliet last week against Cane Ridge. Ravenwood played a great half on Friday night in the Battle of the Woods against Brentwood, and a not so good half on Saturday after the lightning delay that they had. Wound up taking a 41-10 loss to Brentwood. So they're 1-1. One over at Siegel, as we talked about in the last segment. Big passing night from McCain Marrow. Tough performance this past weekend against Brentwood. So it's kind of, which Ravenwood team do we see Friday night?
Well, I'm thinking it's probably going to be the first one, like you saw against Siegel. Mount Juliet's a big squad. They well coached, and I expect them to be able to exploit the inexperience that Ravenwood has on that front.
Should be interesting. And looking at Mount Juliet offensively, again, we talked last week about their big line with DJ Delfendahl, with Justin Satterfield. Got a couple of nice backs back there with Marcelo Walton, Terrence Watkins, and their quarterback Mason Earls does a really good job carrying the ball as well.
You're right. They know where their strength lies, and they keep it on the ground.
Absolutely. And
if they can open it up just a little, though, that might just be the final nail in the coffin in that game.
It might be, because I think, again, with the running backs, with the quarterback, they've got enough firepower offensively if they can just hit on a pass every now and then to keep Ravenwood backed out of the box. And maybe they can make some things happen and open up some running lanes for those guys.
Right.
So should be an interesting matchup there. Going to Region 5 3A, intriguing matchup. You got Stratford and East Nashville. Stratford comes in at 2-0, has yet to give up a point. The Spartans defeated Maplewood 19-0 in week 1, defeated Glencliff 54-0 this past week. TJ Carter, one of our Dirty 30 selections, three carries for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns, 2 catches for 58 yards and a touchdown. So that's 5 touches, 3 touchdowns. You gotta like that kind of efficiency.
Getting it done. That's what Mr. Carter does.
Now,
he acts like he's been there before when he gets there.
Yep. So, this is obviously a guy that they're looking to get the ball to on offense, and he's trying to get the ball when he's on defense. One of the top prospects as a defensive back as well. But keep an eye on Josh Trueheart, their big quarterback in this ball game as well. Really seems to be making some strides from last year. Big kid, big arm, can run it well enough to keep you honest offensively. He can cause some problems for East Nashville.
Yeah, East Nashville is going to have to watch Mr. Carter and Mr. Trueheart, because they love to spread Carter out and get him the ball in the pass game and in the run game. So you never know where he's going to end up, but number one is going to get the football.
And number one for East Nashville is going to be tracking him as well. Jacob Phillips, their linebacker, who is looking at Oklahoma among other folks. So he's going to be the big name for East Nashville defensively, and trying to keep East Nashville in the mix offensively. DeMario Gordon at running back, and I'm intrigued to see which DeMario Gordon we get, whether it's the one who had 174 rushing yards on 22 carries in their win against Rossview, or the one that got bottled up for 37 yards on 16 carries in a 15-13 loss to Maplewood this past weekend.
Kudos to Maplewood.
Yeah.
Maplewood bottled him up. And when the back doesn't get yards, it's not just the back's fault. The lineman didn't get it done. So if they can get it done up front, he'll have a big night. If they don't, well, he'll have 37 yards or less.
So we'll see what happens with that, but that's a big one there in 5-3A. And when we get back, we got another one we want to keep an eye on in that region as well. Stay tuned. Tzatziki's Mediterranean Cafe, Nashville's answer to fast, friendly, healthy comfort food. With a menu featuring assorted grilled meats, fresh veggies, and a dash of inspiration, Tzatziki's casual dining is perfect for lunch, before a movie, or a dinner featuring laughter and great memories. Originality is our nationality. With 7 Middle Tennessee locations, one of them is near you. Check www.tzatzikiscafe.com to select your nearest location and next favorite dish. At National Playmakers Academy, developing NPA athletes comes in threes. NPA develops its student athletes' academic, social, and football-specific skills. Next, NPA develops them for better exposure today, recruitment tomorrow, and college education through scholarships for the rest of their lives. We are proud of the outstanding athletes we have developed. We are more proud of the college graduates we have prepared. Work with National Playmakers Academy for developing gifted athletes into productive citizens.
Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers combine the best of bowling, games, food, drink, and fun. For all Middle Tennessee residents, Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers are the ideal destination for family entertainment. The safe, friendly environment is perfect for birthday parties for kids of all ages or business outings for adults who work too hard. Our friendly staff and fun atmosphere will help create those enjoyable memories with your coworkers, friends, and loved ones. Don't forget to sign your kids up for our Kids Bowl free summer program. Visit us online at strikeandsparebowling.com or come see us in person at any of our nearby Strike and Spare locations in Donaldson, Hendersonville, Hermitage, Murfreesboro, and the Tusculum area for more details. We'll see you soon.
Staying in Region 5-3A, Christ Presbyterian Academy, an uncharacteristic 0-2 coming off of a tough 45-0 loss to Knoxville Catholic after losing at Parkview of Georgia in their season opener 32-7. And if you're keeping up, that means CPA has scored 1 touchdown in their first 2 games. Now, obviously, the Knoxville Catholic game was a little short, but still, they've scored 1 touchdown in 1 game and 3 quarters maybe. They go to White House Heritage, which has kind of gotten by 14-7 against, oh, wow, kind of scared me there, sorry. 14-7 in a rivalry game to open the season against White House, and then 22-21 over defending Class 1A state champion Nashville Christian. So what that tells me is that first-year coach Hunter Hicks is kind of teaching this group how to win.
Yes, and they're learning well. When you go in and get wins against those teams, you're doing something right. And I expect this to be a hard-fought game because CPA is going to want to get in the win column in the worst way because, like you said, it's uncharacteristic for them to start off 0-2, especially scoring 1 touchdown in 2 games. That's unheard of as far as I can remember.
Absolutely, absolutely. And White House Heritage lost this game last year 35-28. It was the last game. That got them to 0-3. They won their next 9 ball games. So they kind of feel like they've got a little bit of a score to settle with the Lions here. And again, won 22-21 over Nashville Christian this past weekend. They were down 21-10 at the half, turned around, scored 2 touchdowns in the second half. Double-barreled running game with Chris Rippey going for 134 yards on 18 carries. Preston Sharber, a sophomore, going for 111 yards and a touchdown on 9 carries to keep White House Heritage in that ball game. And, you know, there may be kind of a changing of the guard right here. CPA is a little young. Obviously, they've been very talented. They've been to the 3A state finals the last 3 years, won it 2 years ago, lost to Alcoa last year in the finals. This is a big game for them if they want to say that we're still a force to be reckoned with, because White House Heritage is coming in here with a lot of confidence.
You're right. And this is a region game, is that. So you got to win these games. These are the ones you have to win.
Absolutely.
First 2 didn't hurt CPA. This one will if they lose it.
Exactly, and it's on the road at Heritage, so the Patriots, again, playing with some confidence, like to really make a statement with this one here. CPA won at 35-28 last year and then beat the Patriots in the quarterfinals of the 3A state playoffs. So they've got a chance to kind of take out some frustration here, the Patriots do. It should be an interesting one to keep an eye on. Stepping into Class 5A, a couple of intriguing matchups as Rossview comes to Brentwood. Rossview coming in at 0-2. They lost to East Nashville 21-14 in their opener. Lost last week to a Beach team that was coming off of a loss. Lost pretty big, 42-21. So Ron Lambert and his bunch coming in at 0-2, catching a Brentwood high school team that's, again, playing with a lot of confidence coming off that 41-10 win over Ravenwood after losing 21-20 at Independence in the opening week.
You're right. And if I was Rossview, I wouldn't want to be trying to get my first win against Brentwood. Coach Crawford and that bunch, they felt like they should have won the first game of the season against Independence, and they're not going to be too giving to a team that's 0-2. They're not going to feel sorry for them. They're going to be trying to take them out early.
Carson Shacklett made his first career start for Brentwood against Independence, did some really good things, built on that this past weekend, taking advantage of the big tight end Christian Lebrecht and those wide receivers Will Leone and Parker Bouillon, and throwing it around a little bit. And again, Coach Crawford just starting to put his stamp on that program. They're playing 4 quarters. You knew they were going to do that. They're maximizing whatever potential they've got there. And like you said, this is a tough spot for an 0-2 Rossview team to be in, I think.
I don't envy Coach Lambert's position at all. I think for them to be successful, they're going to have to balance it out between the run and pass and just hope someone else makes some mistakes on the Brentwood side as far as turnovers and penalties.
Staying in 5A, going to the other end of Williamson County, defending state champion Independence 2-0 goes to 1-0 Lincoln County. The Falcons played their opener last week. They weren't scheduled to play week 1, so they'll play 10 straight. They won't have an open date later on, but they opened up with a 30-0 win over Lawrence County, and Riley Harmon, their quarterback, rushed for 108 yards and a couple of touchdowns. So that's kind of where it starts for the Falcons offensively, defensively. And we talked a little bit about Lincoln County and their coach Don Thomas on the podcast earlier this week. You can expect this to be a physical ball game.
Oh yeah, Don's going to have them swarming to the ball, and they know Mr. Troy Henderson from Independence is going to be getting the ball quite often, and they'll introduce themselves to him early. Whether they'll be able to keep him out of the end zone or not, that's the question.
Absolutely. This kid's already got almost 200 yards and 5 touchdowns in his first 2 games. Junior transfer from Louisville, really come in and put his mark on this Independence offense that has been a pass-first offense primarily under Scott Blade. They're kind of doing it a little differently right now, while the new quarterback, Brandon Wharton's at Nolensville, my bad. While Brandon Hines gets his feet on the ground in that Eagles offense.
That's smart coaching. He's playing to his strengths. In the past, they've been a passing team because that was their strength. This year, it's the run game, and you have to have situational adaptability. Adapt to your strengths and use them.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, as Brandon Hines continues to progress, they're continuing to come along at the receiver position. They've got some guys that they can throw it to once they get there. TJ Sheffield, Kendrell Scurry, the UT commitment as a sophomore, made a nice catch in their win over Centennial. Landon Guidry, the Mississippi State commitment, is showing up in both the passing game and the run game, and they're getting pretty creative with him, putting him in there at Wildcat quarterbacks maybe once or twice a game, letting him just make some plays. So, Scott is going to come up with something and just kind of keep defenses on their toes. The former linebacker likes messing with other defenses, I think.
Well, being a defensive coach, he knows what defenses frustrates him. Is multiple options, and he uses different things. He's not locked into one system. He's not saying, hey, I'm a spread coach, or I'm this, or I'm that. I'm whatever my players dictate that I am.
You got to like that.
I love it.
Yeah. This will be quietly down at Fayetteville, probably one of the better matchups in the mid-state as well. Mo Patton Sports Videocast is brought to you by Snap Laces. Snap Laces' elite lacing system was designed for world-class athletes. They come in hundreds of color combinations so you can perform well and look great at the same time. Buy a set online today by clicking through the top image on mopattonsports.com. LT360 is a health and weight loss company based in Brentwood, led by Coach Scott Oatsvall and Brent High. They have helped more than 700 clients in the last year get healthy, lose weight, and feel better with an all-natural program and simple approach to exercise and nutrition. LT360 offers free health and wellness seminars each week. For more information, visit their website at lt360.com or call them at 615-312-8244. John Mayer Builders proudly sponsors Mo Patton Sports Videocast. With over 1,500 homes built in Middle Tennessee, John Mayer Builders knows the importance of families and communities. They have numerous business awards to their credit, proving that John Mayer Builders is built to win. Like them on Facebook. John Mayer Builders, our reputation is building. Let's get to our picks. Last week, we're starting to kind of get the hang of it. Last week, each of us went 5-1. Trinity Brentwood Academy, I took Trinity. Terrence took Brentwood Academy. Trinity pulled out a 35-21 win. Knoxville Catholic CPA, we both took the Irish out of Knoxville and looked pretty prophetic there. Franklin 27, Riverdale 20. I had the Warriors in that one. So again, kudos to the Rebels and to Terrence here. We both had Oakland beating Hillsborough. Sure enough, the Patriots came out 41-13. both had Independence beating Centennial, 31-21 was your final, and we both had Marshall County beating Overton, and the Tigers come up with a 33-19 win on Saturday night. So again, both of us 5-1 this past week. Let's take a shot. And again, you guys can take a shot as well. Hashtag #BeatMostradamus on Twitter. Shoot me your picks of these next 6 games, and if you come out ahead of me, we'll put you in a drawing for a Tzatziki's Mediterranean gift card, Tzatziki's Mediterranean Cafe gift card. 8 locations in Middle Tennessee. One of them is near you. We'll do this one last. How's that? CPA White House Heritage. Who do you like?
White House Heritage.
I'm going with the Patriots too. I think they're on the way up, and I think CPA is still kind of working through some things with a young team right now. I like the Patriots at home. Stratford and East Nashville.
Stratford. I think they got just too much firepower for East Nashville to shut them down.
I like Stratford in a close one here. Ravenwood, Mount Juliet.
This is a tough one, but I'm going to go with the Golden Bears of Mount Juliet, and that line, and I pray that they do what I think they're going to do.
I like Mount Juliet in this one as well. At home for the 2nd straight week. Think they learned a lot from this Cane Ridge game this past weekend. I think Ravenwood's kind of got some things that they've got to get shored up. I like Mount Juliet. Franklin Overton.
Franklin Rebels. I think it's just too much size, too much strength, and too much skill for Overton to overcome.
I think Franklin is going to close out a game this weekend. I like the Rebels in this one as well. Brentwood Academy, John Paul II.
Justin Gossing is doing a great job over there at John Paul II, but they haven't played an opponent to the level of Brentwood Academy, and I think Brentwood Academy is going to take this one.
I think the Eagles bounce back from their loss to Trinity as well. I like BA here. What do you think of this one?
Oh, Cane Ridge and
Hendersonville.
It's going to be a great game, I believe, but I think Cane Ridge Ravens are going to take it.
I think they'll be able to shut down Hendersonville offensively well enough to do some things on offense and pull away to the win. I like Cane Ridge in this one as well. So we went right down the line. So we're either going 6-0 or 0-6. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with this one. But that's our picks. Again, let's see what you've got. Hashtag #BeatMostradamus on Twitter. Shoot me your picks. If you get more of them than I do, or than we do in this case, you go into a drawing for a gift card from Tzatziki's Mediterranean Cafe. Let's see what you got. Be sure and check out the website, MoPattonsports.com. Check out Mo's 4-Down Territory and see who stopped losing streaks and who set records this past weekend. Also check out Mo's Elite 11, see who's #1 in that. And be sure and check out the Strike and Spare podcast later this week. We're going to be talking to Hunter Hicks, the head coach over at White House Heritage. We're also going to catch up with Will Hester over at Nolensville. The Knights will play their one and only varsity game of the season. They've got South Gibson out of West Tennessee coming in for that one. So should be a pretty exciting atmosphere out in Nolensville on Friday night for that matchup. So again, be sure and check out the Strike and Spare Coaches Show podcast on Mo Patton Sports. That's Terrence Smithson. I'm Maurice Patton. We'll see y'all at a ball game.